Recently, I just won the first ever major college football 25 tournament where I was flown out to LA, got to meet Reggie Bush, won an honorary Heisman key, and then on top of all of that, also won a brand new car. Now, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Dcroft, and I have been competing in professional football video games for the past 5 years. I have made well over $100,000 during my time of competing, and more importantly, I have helped thousands of people improve their game at college. Today, we are going to be breaking down some of my favorite tips in college football in terms of getting you guys better. It's my goal of always providing any type of knowledge to make you guys improve your games and get more wins. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the tip. All right, boys, so for tip number 1, we are going to be talking about setting your audibles. Now, all you want to do is you want to click onto any formation and you just want to click left trigger or L2 like this. This is my audibles for one of my main formations in the game, which is the gun bunch strong. And this is essential, in my opinion, to be able to win more games. Now, the biggest thing is you want to set audibles for every single formation in the entire game. The second part of this tip that I do want to give you guys is your first 2 audibles are going to be what show up when you call turbo. So whenever you call turbo, which is holding down square or X, essentially you're only going to get the option of picking the top 2 plays. So you might want to have those 2 plays be the best plays that you have. Typically, those will also be one of your run plays. So what we'll go right now is go through all of my formations and then just show you guys some of my audibles. You guys can also see that you can save audibles up to 32 different playbooks. I currently have 4. So the way audibles should be set is one of your first 2 should always be a run. That's always just my recommendation. Sometimes a formation you might not need to have a run in it, but more often than not, it's going to be a run. The next 3 plays, you want to have a counter for every single meta thing that you could see. For example, man-to-man, cover 2, cover 3. You want to make sure that you have all those plays and your favorite plays from those. Another very big important thing is even if you do not run the formation, set audibles for it. I have never ran bunch ace, but I promise you these are my favorite audibles for bunch ace. Very important because you never know when you might call that play. You also might be somebody that picks plays from coach suggestions where maybe you get to the line of scrimmage and you're like, man, maybe I want to call that play from bunch ace instead of that other play. But truly, no matter what, I'm going to have every single one of these formations have my exact audibles. So you guys can see that these are the exact audibles that I want. Even if I know I'm probably not going to run that formation in the game, I would rather have my audible saved than just not have that audible whatsoever. You know, even if you don't think you're ever going to run that formation, it's going to help you potentially one, maybe out of like 10 games, right? To the point where you should just sit, in practice mode and set all of your audibles. Really, when it comes to my audibles too, I definitely like to audible between like 2 or 3 different like main formations. So like, for example, I really like the bunch strong offset. I like the bunch X nasty. And I also really like the tray offset, which is right there. So obviously having those like 3 formations that I know I'm going to run more throughout a game, it's very, very helpful for me just to know exactly what plays to call based on my audibles that I do have. Hope that tip was helpful for you guys. Let's get into the next one. All right, next for you guys, we are going to show you guys how to make quarterback sneak out of any single play. This is such an effective tip, especially down in the red zone, just to help you score more. And it's also just an effective play in terms of helping you guys get those tough yards, like 1 to 2 yards that you may need. So obviously, typically, you will see quarterback sneak be in goal line. You guys might be wondering, what play did I just call to make that play into a quarterback sneak? So what you guys want to do is I am currently in the Oklahoma State playbook. I am picking a speed option from under center. Let me scroll to it right here. Motion speed option. Now, even though we're in the Oklahoma State playbook, this is going to work from any under center formation that has a speed option. all you are going to want to do, this is going to be super simple. You just aren't going to run the speed option. With my left analog stick, we're just going to jam it straight up like this, right? And we're just going to run straight forward. Now, this is actually really cool too, because you actually have the option of then also running the speed option if you want to. Because you guys can see, right? Like if they just don't have somebody over the center, I can just easily pick up these yards. Now, this speed option that I am specifically running to, I actually have a decent amount of control too, where I can almost cut it in between the left guard and the left tackle. Now, probably not the best look to do it, but I will show you guys what it looks like, right? I can essentially go through that lane too if I wanted to. Quickly show you guys the replay that I'm not forced to just go right up the middle, right? I'm able to take this and then be able to bounce it out to the left too if I so choose. Show it to you what you guys look if we go to the right here too. So again, we're just going to bounce this one out to the right here. So boom, and then we kind of cut up field like that. Again, the defensive front that the defense is in, we probably should just be taking it right up the middle. But just wanted to show you guys what it looks like in terms of being able to go through any single potential rushing lane. Now, the last thing that I do want to mention, you are just calling a speed option. Let's just say that they're doing a really good job at like stuffing the inside, right? You don't really have anywhere to go in the middle of the field. So you could just simply run this as a regular speed option, right? You know, I can still just easily with Arch Manning go out here, go a little pitch like that, and easily get to the edge like this. This has been one of my favorite things to do in the red zone throughout the entirety of this year. And I think it's like the best short yardage run that you can possibly call. They also in a recent patch did just update pitches. So pitches are going to be more effective than what they were originally, right? Because you guys can see, right? It's very easy for me also just to take this to the outside. I really have the option to run left, run middle, run like short right, and then also pitch it out all the way to the other side of like the far right area of the field. But again, great tip for you guys. This is going to help you guys pick up those tough yardage. A ton of pro players do this too. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into our next tip. Real quick, boys, if you guys are a Madden or a CFB player and want to have more fun on the game and win more, throw touchdowns like these, and then also bag the most annoying of offenses, make sure you guys check out civil.gg, where I just dropped my tournament winning CFB 25 scheme. We recently did a survey that said 99.2% of players that sign up win more games. Make sure you guys use code Dcroft to save you 30% off at the checkout. Link is in the top of the description, and you'll get instant access to all of the schemes on the website. So we are going to be talking about how to improve your pass rush next. Now, essentially all that you want to do for this is when you're in a 3-man rush is you want to simply just blitz your user. So to blitz your user, all you have to do is click X or A. That is going to pull up his assignments like this. And then we are going to flick the right analog stick down and put him in a blitz like this. Now, first, before this though, we are going to show you guys just what a regular 3-man pass rush looks like here. And you guys will see is it doesn't do a great job in terms of getting sheds, right? Everyone's kind of stonewalled. The entire team, or all the wide receivers are like 50 yards down the field. So we really want to make sure that we are blitzing our user. So again, tap X or A, and then we are going to flick the right analog stick down. The last very important part of this though, is you want to make sure that your user has his pass rush points up. So those two little dots above his head is his pass rush points. Basically, this game is coding this now as a 4-man pass rush, and it's going to allow for a better pass rush. If you do stand like all the way back here, essentially it's not going to be a 4-man pass rush, and you're still going to get stonewalled when it comes to sheds. So I'm going to go ahead, come down like this, show you guys what it looks like now. Hike the ball, and what you guys will see is this time we are able to get sheds. Now be aware we are still only sending a 3-man pass rush, so it's not like that we are anticipating the sheds to be insanely fast, but it's much better than what happened last time where they just didn't shed at all, right? Like this time we at least get 2 shed animations. I'll be honest, I don't know how good the Texas Tech defensive line is, but we were able to get a shed eventually, where before we just never got a shed. Now, the last thing that I will mention when it comes to sheds as a whole is that it may help to potentially crash. Now, I don't necessarily think you have to crash, but I do feel like it's at least worth mentioning. You know, some people like to slant outside a little bit more. All you have to do that is you click left on the D-pad and then right on the right analog stick. And you guys can see, like, some people like to do this, some people don't like to do this. It's just more preference at this point. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing right here. Go ahead and see what this looks like. let the CPU hike the ball, see how good our shed animation is right here. And then you guys can see, right? Like we are getting sheds from both of our defensive ends. You know, probably maybe a crash down would have just been a little bit better. Last thing to mention to you guys is switch sticking. Now, switch sticking, major thing in this game. When you are blitzing your user, you cannot switch stick. So when I go ahead and try to flick my analog stick, right, you can't switch stick. I actually kind of just went crazy on the pass rush right there. But you still can switch stick, it's just different. So if you ever get caught in a blitzing player like this, right, what you can do to switch stick is what you want to do is you want to hold down circle or B, and then you want to flick the left analog stick to the player you want to switch stick to. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys right here. So boom, right? I'm holding down circle, and then with the left analog stick, I am then switch sticking. So that might be a very helpful tip for some of you guys that want to still switch stick while you're doing this adjustment. You guys can see, right? So at this point in time, holding down circle, and then I'm flicking my left analog stick to that other player right there. So if I go a little bit further, right, you guys can see I'm still able to switch stick. Albeit it's not in the same way that you typically do switch stick, right? Typically switch sticking is just you flick your right analog stick, but you still can switch stick while doing this. Now, this isn't something, again, a ton of people do, so I hope this tip is helpful for you guys. All right, boys, next tip is going to be inside the 5 defense. Now, this has been my inside the 5 defense for the entire year, and it's the reason why I hold my opponents to 3s instead of giving up 7s down there. First thing, you want to be in goal line. Every single playbook should have this. You want to pick 6-2, and then you want to call 60 out jacks. Now, this is without a doubt my favorite red zone defense within this game. All you are going to want to do is you want to hook curl both of these middle linebackers. So all you want to do is you want to tap X-ray like this. That is going to pull up your user quick adjustments. You want to hook curl this guy. You then want to click onto the other linebacker. Same thing, X-ray. You want to flick the left analog stick like this. That's going to allow for the hook curls. And this is what your defense should look like. Now, with this defense, the reasons why I really like it. 1, you really don't need deep blues this close to the field. There's really nothing deep to guard, right? It makes no logical sense to have a deep blue in this area of the field because there's really no deep zone or deep area on this field. Next reason I really like it. 8-man box. You are in 6-2, so you are at a minimum always going to have 8 people in the box. And actually right here, we do have a 10-man box. I just think being able to have this many people close to the line of scrimmage is so effective this close to the end zone. So I'm going to go ahead and call this play like this. And essentially you guys can see how good of run defense it is. Now, also very important, I do call this against shotgun formations too, because I think it's still one of the best things you can do against shotgun, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just call a gun run right here. So let's just go ahead and talk about normal Y off close. And like a very common thing that you guys will see is actually a jet pass right here. If you're in like a shotgun like this. Biggest thing is making sure you have a good user right here and making sure you get outside containment. So I'm going to make sure I get outside containment like this. And it's going to stop a lot of the really good gimmick things that people want to do on offense. Now, when it comes to passing the ball, the biggest thing is you always want to be using the 2 receiver side or just the heavier side of the formation. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll just pick like bench right here. Very standard concept that people like to run. And this isn't necessarily the best pass defense ever, but more often than not, people are going to see this and like panic, want to have a quick read. And as long as you take away their quick read, you're going to be in a good spot. So really all I'm doing right here is I'm going to be essentially watching number 5 myself and just running right there. And then I'm kind of trusting between the man up, the hard flat, hook curl, and then the other man up on this side of the field that nothing will be open. Now it is optional to contain. If you guys want to contain, just double tap right bumper or R1, this guy right here. And then that's how you pull up the contain like this. Go ahead and let the CPU hike right here. And again, I'm just going to kind of shoot right there. And right there, honestly, that's a pick if I just click on. I know you guys are thinking like you're crazy, right? But I promise you, this is what happens so much against people like online players, right? If I just click on to this hard flat and jump, that's an easy pick. So let me go ahead and actually run this play one more time and just show you guys what I mean, right? So we'll go ahead and do the same thing. And right there, oh, I was a little bit slow with my click on. I promise you I'm picking this off. And honestly, when they're this close to the end zone like this, you can't necessarily be mad at something like that. Now, I will say it's probably going to be helpful for me just to move this guy out a couple of steps just so I get the correct alignment. Just something to be mindful of. So again, one more time right here, and you guys can see really nothing open. And that's kind of one of my favorite things to do in the red zone is just call this against the shotgun players too down here. Again, I probably needed to move this guy like a half step outside. I actually thought after the first time I was a little bit in better position to guard it. I guess I wasn't. But truly, like this defense, even if they're passing the ball, is going to do such a good job at just clamping your opponents. So go ahead, let the CPU hike. Again, kind of my responsibility right there. And again, out of bounds, incompletion. Very, very easy to get stops in this style of defense. All right, boys, so for the last tip video, we are going to be going over my favorite route concept in the game. I will say, we are in random plays in offense and random plays on defense. Just to prove to you guys that this is going to work out of basically any formation within this game. What you guys are going to want to do is you want to zig your slot wide receiver and you want to flat route your slot wide receiver too. So for example, this is a perfect formation to run it from. So we want to go ahead and just run a concept like this. We're not really focused on any other routes. We're just focused on this route and this route here and here. This whip route is just going to get to a great area of the field. And obviously if they run man, it's just going to fry it every single time. This is actually another great example that we can run right here. What I'm going to show you guys is something a little bit different, which is having our outside receiver on this little out route here. So it's also going to work from a concept like this, probably very worth noting because it's still going to allow us to have a window to find that whip route in. We need that out route or that flat route on the field just to pull that flat defender out, because if we do not have that route on the field, that flat defender is essentially going to be able to come inside on him and be able to play him. Obviously, right here we have this out route, so this cloud flat has to respect it just for a little bit longer, giving us this window here. But again, this is one of my favorite route concepts in this game. It's going to be one of my favorite short yardage dots, something like this. And it's just going to be something I spam, right? Like truly in a situation like this, I actually don't think this is like a bad play call for you guys, because you guys know like one of our whip routes are going to always just be open. I do hope we get to see zone one more time. I think this is zone. Hopefully I'm not mistaken. Go ahead and hike the play right here. And you guys can see, right? We still have that window to be able to throw that whip route. And it's one of those great quick reads that you can throw in this game. Now, one thing to mention is that if you're in a formation like this with like two tight ends, you obviously don't have like a slot receiver that you can't throw it in. So just something to be mindful of. I do just want to pick a zone here just to show you guys a little bit more what it looks like. And again, so we'll run it to the wide side of the field. Now, granted, it doesn't matter if you run it to the wide side or the short side of the field, but something that I will recommend is that probably just like more preference I have running it to the wide side of the field. There's nothing wrong with running it to the short side of the field, the short hash of the field, but just something to be mindful of. Go ahead and hike this play right here, and you guys can see, right? Just gets to such a good area. I probably should have thrown it a half second earlier. That's on me. So just mental note from me, right? Just boom, ball comes out, possession, catch it. And again, this isn't a flashy play. This isn't going to be a one play touchdown play, but it's going to be one of the plays that allows you to pick up good, consistent yardage in tough situations. With that being said, I do appreciate you guys all for watching this video a ton. If you learned something, make sure you guys drop a like, and I will see you guys all next time. I butchered that, but oh well.